There's always been a Baggins living here under the hill. In Baggin. There always will be.
Welcome back, everybody, to episode 6. Yep, episode 6, where we're going to talk about shooters again. And we're going to leave off of what
FPS part 2. All right. So, leaving off, let's see where we leave off. I think we're talking about like indie companies. Yeah, indie companies, Ground Branch. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because Ground Branch was obviously, like, I think you were talking about Ground Branch was obviously had a good budget coming in, but you could tell that it faltered off, because the development time has slowed down quite a bit, right? Like, that is true.
It comes down to this, right? Like, this one of my biggest things about, like, when it comes to, like, the shooters like that and everything else is the fact that they got a big money grab and now they're just slow as fuck, right? And that's why I'm not a big fan of...
Companies are making that mistake nowadays.
But I'm also I'm not a big fan of... It comes down to, I don't give a fuck if it is like billionaires investing into a game to make money and everything else compared to a crowdfunded one, because it seems like more games that are crowdfunded are those people, those devs and everything else are taking more advantage of their consumer and the person that are and don't get me wrong, like, yeah, it's supposed to be an investment. But when you decide to invest in a game for a development and all of a sudden they fucking release the game and it's shit and doesn't work, and then they divest the company a week later,
yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't leave a good taste in people's mouths. But, like, here's the thing, though, right? I feel like that right there is an accurate assessment of how we all feel, given the track history. Now, as to the reasons why, like, to say that crowdfunding in and of itself is, guaranteed to create that isn't necessarily true. The only problem with crowdfunding, though, is there's a lot less restrictions and regulations and stuff, right? Like, there's a lot more freedom for somebody to screw people over, right? Like, it's pretty much like, hey, you're donating me the money. There's nothing stopping me from taking the money and just disappearing, right? Like, that's kind of the risk-reward aspect you're taking, the chance.
It's just, I kind of feel, I'm not gonna lie, like, you just a couple minutes ago you dived into Ground Branch, right? We're just gonna stick on this topic for a couple minutes. The whole Ground Branch, right? I think you mentioned
that you couldn't go prone until recently. I think you brought Ground Branch up because we were talking about, prone.
So, like, and you were doing a little bit of research, and like you thought like a patch just came out, and you realized that patch came out months ago.
Well, no, I remember, 34 came out, because what I was saying is, like, I remember patch 34 coming out. I think it did introduce that, the prone or something, and I was like, okay, well, I was checking it the other day, because I wanted to take a look at it, I actually enjoyed playing it. It's good for what it is. The only thing it's missing, really, is, like, people to play it with, right? Like, with friends, it'd be fun. But, you need people that are playing it on a private server, essentially, or on a server. To get a game in, because there are no AI, like, at all. If they just added some bots or an option to put bots in there, even some basic teammates, some basic enemy, like, the enemies are all right. If you just add some basic friendly AI, it would just, at that point, it'd just be something to burn some time in, right? It'd be a decent little thing, right? But it just feels it does feel kind of empty if you don't have someone to play it with, right?
Yeah, no, I get that, right? And like I said, like, it's like my biggest thing is this, right? It seems like they released, everybody was excited about the game. The game was good, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't finished, but it had bones, right? It's a
good concept, yeah.
It had the concept and the bones that everybody was happy with.
It's
they
there.
made a shit ton of money. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like, you know, they grabbed their money and then slowed down production.
Well, here's the thing. No, it's not. It's a byproduct of running out of money. I thought that, like, so whenever you said that they got a bunch of money up front, right? It makes sense. Okay, it's kind of like if you look at power output, right? The more wattage, you know, like the more power you have, the more output you're getting, right? So, and that's the thing. The more money you have, quicker the wheels getting lubed up, quicker the freaking patches are coming. The more people they're hiring, the more people they're pushing, and you know, once the initial funds of everybody buying it on Steam or buying it wherever dry up, once that initial injection of funds come in, where you get more money, like because unlike like Star Citizen, for example, they're constantly getting funds because they're constantly pushing sales. They're constantly selling
I get that,
things.
but what I'm saying though is the difference is though too.
So of course they're going to be slowing down, but the one thing I give them credit for is they haven't stopped. Like there are a lot of I wouldn't say they've taken the money and ran. They are still actively developing it. It's just taking its sweet ass time.
Here's the thing though,
right?
is like it's taking longer now than it was before. That's what I'm getting at, right? Is the fact that this like coming from testing it before launch, right, under NDA compared to now, they were pumping shit out more and they didn't make money then. They were pumping out more updates and fixes than they are now after they made to date $8 million. They have made a gross revenue of $8 million.
Yeah.
You can't tell me, oh well, now that like no, because even when they released it to the public, the fixes and the updates and stuff were still months and gaps of between stuff that they were fixing. Like it's not like they slowed down because of less money and revenue coming in. They were slow pushing shit out the second they fucking launched and made millions of dollars. They've made millions of dollars and are pretty stagnant. They're pushing out shit what, twice a year, if that? And
yeah, maybe even quarterly, I don't know.
And that's what I'm getting at, is like it's like a lot of games like this are falling into the same cycle where,
like I said, it's a victim of, like, here's the problem with crowdfunding. It's a bad decision by somebody. Like anybody could crowdfund a game, right? Like if you and I had an idea and we wanted to, you know, we could go on there and the freaking Kickstarter, just post the idea, get the funding and run with it. Now somewhere along the way, that is still up to us to manage that money appropriately, okay? And it's like, yeah, they fucked up. Like somewhere along the lines, they fucked up. But, you know,
or did they?
Like that's the issue.
See,
I mean, I don't know.
That's the thing is, like,
or they didn't,
or
and
did they not? And they were like, you know,
continue. I mean, I don't know. Like, but that's the thing, right?
So I do not think the money is the issue on why they are not pushing shit out. I think it was because if the money was the issue, you would have had crowdfunding and major funding before the game even got hit, right?
I think, my point though, I'm sorry, to finish my thought, I think the point is timing, like you were saying. If you're going to do that, the game has to be somewhat close to done. Like, you have to freaking sit there. We were talking about, I think, with Star Citizen, or not even that. Like, that's the one that comes to my most recent memory. But there are a lot of games that are like, hey, let's freaking go ahead and show this trailer. Like, you know, freaking Elder Scrolls 6, Grand Theft Auto 6. Hell, I think it's just something to do with the number 6. But, you know, all these freaking games that they release the shit like ages ago when they shouldn't have. Like, we were all happily unknowing. We'd all been sitting here pondering, ooh, Half-Life 3 confirmed. Fine. But no, like, they just said something way before they were close to release. They thought they were closer. I don't know. Maybe they thought the hype was going to freaking last that long. But, like, I think inversely what it does, it negatively impacts that, right? Like, obviously people are still going to wait, but you're going to create resentment the longer you make people wait at that point. So it's like, yeah, I'm still going to play your game, but, like, what the fuck, guys? You know what I mean?
So, like this is the problem, right? Here, I just, like, looked at, like, this was a post a year ago, and a person was like, lots of feature updates, but frustrated with the lack of content or things to do, and just the lack of overall stuff, right, on Ground Branch, right? And this is one of the top things. Just take a break from the game. Come back in a couple years.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Lots of people have been saying that.
That's the problem, right? Or the thing of look at the game more of like, this is a tech demo.
Access. What did you expect, bro? This isn't even a full game.
That's the thing, that's the problem, right? Is that like, oh, think of it as a tech demo. And it's like, bro, like, I'm sorry, but this is just ridiculous, right? Slow development.
But yeah, I mean, that shit happens all the time. I can't tell you too, and it's not just Steam either. Let me tell you, do you know who has worse freaking, like, one thing I will say about Valve, we're talking about this happening. I just read something the other day talking about Valve trying to crack down on this stuff, right?
The devs have... Go ahead.
Sorry, what? No, please continue. What?
So apparently the devs have even admitted that development on the game has been on and off.
Yeah.
So they're not always constantly working on the fucking game.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense because they probably need freaking full-time jobs on the side, you know?
Yeah, but here's the thing though, is that, like, I think that's the problem, right? That's the problem that I don't like about it, and it's one of the things that put me off about Ground Branch is because, one, dude, it went in Kickstarter and it has been in development since 2008.
Yeah.
2008.
Now, here's the thing.
Bro,
right?
I was in high school when they started.
Yeah, here's the difference. I'm not saying it's fucking great. Dude, when I asked you to play it with me, all right, the game system is fun as fuck. You want to talk about actually feeling the mechanics. It has a good shooting system. What is there is fun to play as is. I'm not sitting there judging it based on what the fuck it was in 2008. What the hell the company's done. I already paid for it, for example, right? I ain't getting that damn money back. Who fucking cares? I'm not giving them any more money. But if you play it, it is okay.
I get that, but what I'm saying though is that, like,
the pro not being there, inexcusable, but whatever. Fuck it. I mean, shoot people.
The problem is, I think this is what happened, right? This is.
But if you look at that, it's kind of like fuck that.
If I look at everything about the whole game and everything else, I look at it like this. I look at it as they got to the point where they, whatever, and they're like, they could have been like perfectly fine and was like, you know what, let's do a tech demo, release it early access, see what people think and everything else, see whatever. They made $8 million and then they were like, fuck that, we'll get to this fucking game whenever we have a chance. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this game's ever gonna come out. I think they took the money and ran. What's
there is old school terrorist hunt. Like, if you're playing it by yourself, because that's the issue, right? It's like, no one's playing the fucking game because everybody's like, fuck them. I'm not even gonna try it. Like, I already have it. That's the issue too. It's like, a lot of people have already bought the damn game, but they're still not playing it.
Well, because
though,
it comes down to this: why am I gonna play a game that is the same game that I played 8 years ago? Or, like, I'm just saying, right? Like 2 years ago, and there's nothing added. It's like, that's 2 years worth of production and working on the game, and all you can really say is like, fair. Oh, you added proning. It's like, bro, like, if the game has been in development since 2008, proning should have already fucking been there in 2023 when we played.
Yeah, well, like, here's the thing though, right? You know what Ground Branch is good for? No,
it is
here's
good.
The thing. Ground Branch right now
fundamentals are good.
Ground Branch right now is the only game for anyone that is trying to look and encapsulate an old school kind, or one of the only modern kind of games that encapsulates the old school terrorist hunt, like Rainbow Six and shit like that. Because that's what they sold it as initially, or at least that's how I took it as, and that's what it is as is. It's got enemy AI, you literally got terrorist hunt, you got find the objective. It's simple. It isn't going anywhere, but what I'm saying is, like, don't buy it. If you have not paid for the game, do not purchase it. Well, but if you've already got the fucking game and you want to do terrorist hunt, what else is doing that?
It's got good bones. It was great. It's just the fact that in 2 years, you need to add some content.
I mean, I get it. I do. But, like, I don't play that game because I'm like, I play it because it's, like I said, to go in there and shoot some fucking AI bots.
Well, no, I get it. You can go into a game, and that's the thing. Is, like, it's also really good for you. You can go into a game and replay content over and over again, and you can replay the same content in a sense, right? My brain don't work like that. Once I'm done, I cannot fucking. It's like I cannot continue doing it. It's like I said,
I boot it up every now and again just because, like every now and again, I'll jump in, just shoot and play a few matches. But it gets old by yourself.
It's like the last podcast, right? Was it episode 5 when we talked about Black Ops and zombies, right?
Like Ready or Not's good. You see what I mean? He's doing the same thing better.
It's like, right? I cannot, like, it goes back to, like, I couldn't do this years ago. Like, it's just not who I am, right? I don't like zombies because it's just doing the same fucking thing over and over again to the point where it's like the same, like the actual legit same shit, right? Compared to when it comes down to playing like a multiplayer in a shooter, everything's gonna change, like be different. Like each match is gonna be different because you're playing not against AI, you're playing against humans, and they're not gonna do the same thing. It
depends on who, like what you're looking for. Like,
but that's what
everybody,
I'm getting at.
When people think FPS, most people assume the only thing that ever fucking exists in the end all be all fucking shooter games is multiplayer. Like, and when I say multiplayer, I'm talking fucking, you know, player versus player, Call of Duty, Battlefield style, team v teams, right? They just fuck bots all together. No one wants bots there, you know. But like games didn't used to do that, right? Like if you want to look at like fucking Tom Clancy shit, like Ghost Recon, Ghost War, you know, just like games used to worry about that kind of stuff. They used to incorporate elements for stuff like that. There used to be cooperative stuff for like co-op,
right?
For example,
and that's
right?
What I'm
like
saying
Spec
is that,
Ops and Call of Duty was fun as hell, I thought. But like
that's your type of game, though.
But if I pitch that idea, well, co-op games, right? Like whenever we're talking about playing games together, right?
I wouldn't say so. That's the thing, right?
Shooter, right?
I wouldn't,
and it's geared for that.
I think
but if I try to pitch it to people, they don't want to play it. Right?
I think it's different because it's this, right? It's not the fact that, so like me and you right now are currently playing Halo, right? We finished Halo Reach and now we're on Combat Evolved. That is a story-driven first-person shooter that I can continue. I can play. I haven't played it in a long time, so like I'm able to play it again. When it comes down to, you know, like you said, your Spec Ops, that is the same shit over and over again, the same objectives against AI, and it's not really story driven, and it's not like a campaign, so it's harder for me because it's just, that's up your alley. You love that shit. Me, it fucking irritates me. Now, don't get me wrong, it's kind of weird.
It's the same thing that you're scratching with PvP in a way, except you're not getting tilted because you're not getting fucking shot by some guy.
Bro, I like I play Tarkov. Man,
brother, here's the thing I don't get. All right, like I get tilted, right? This is like, let me tell you a story. I had a friend, all right, that I grew up with, and we, you know, we're playing like World of War, Call of Duty, all that shit together and everything, right? Well, he literally, I watched him destroy so many controllers. He had a 360, all right? It was standing straight up. He had one of the newest Call of Duties. We were freaking playing split screen and online, whatever. He freaking got pissed. He slaps the damn thing, scratches his discs, is like, oh no. And I was like, well, maybe you should have, like, I don't know, whatever. But like the issue I got is like, okay, getting tilted. Like I get tilted, but I still play the fucking game and I'm still okay. Like, if you're getting tilted to the point where you're rage quitting, or you're most people aren't that bad, as my buddy I'm talking about, but like if you're getting to the point where you're just all that foreign, I mean, why? Like, why are you actually playing it, right? Like, what's going on?
Because it's hard and I want to continue. Dude, I will alt F4 out of a fucking game because I'm pissed. Like I said, Tarkov, come on. I can get fucked on and I'll still go back to that game.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about coming back. I'm saying, like, if you're going to play it for 20 minutes, get tilted and quit, right? Like, that's the issue. Like, if you're going to get mad and just, like, fuck it and, like, you know, actually continue to play and have fun, right? That's one thing. But it's like, you know, when you say you love the tilt, is that what you mean, right? Like, you know, because I feel like the pain, yes, people do love the pain. Like, that's why people enjoy, like, Souls-like. Like, we mentioned that, I think, at one point. Where it's like Souls-like games are for people like that, where it's like, God damn it, like, just fucking let me, all right, You know, Monster Hunter, I feel, is another game exactly like that, right? Like we were talking about Monster Hunter 2. It is a game like that. Like you're gonna get fucked by some bullshit, dude. Like the mechanics, they're designed for that, right? Like the monsters have some tricks, you know?
I don't know. Like I said, like I think, I don't know. It's just like I said, like I can, for some reason, when it comes down to a shooter and I'm playing AI or against AI, there's only a couple games that I'm willing to do because the AI itself, if done correctly, can be very intricate and everything else, right?
Yeah.
And I don't. It's also the fact that, like, when it comes down to it, most games, when it comes down to AI, the way they make it harder, and Tarkov, like PvE, has the same fucking problem, and we witnessed it the other day. One of the crazy things, right, is the fact that it's like AI. They can headshot, like, dude, I've played Ground Brands on harder difficulties, and it's like you're playing against a fucking aimbot.
Yeah, on 10, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Right? But I mean, honestly, if you're cranking it up to 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 should be aimbot. You know what I mean? Like, that's
what I'm saying though is that, like, but it shouldn't. It should not be aimbot. Like, no.
1 through, I mean.
No,
you can
never.
Only adjust
nothing should be able to
accuracy so much. If you're cranking up,
dude,
I mean, I guess you're right. I do see what you're saying, but like, it's a fine line, right? Like nobody.
The reason for AI and the reason for people to do AI was the fact that people wanted to play co-ops games like this, right? But feel more like a PvP or a harder, like in that sense, situation with campaign or co-op with friends, and not have to be in a PvP realm. Playing against actual people.
About Tarkov?
No, I'm just talking about in general and like these games, right? And the problem though is the fact that it's like when you, instead of adding different things to make it harder, and all you do, well, not all you do, but like one of the things you add is, oh, these AI's aim is actually pretty good and their hearing is up more so they can locate you a lot faster. The problem with this is it depends on the people that are coding, right? Because back then, Scavs and Tarkov could shoot you through smoke because guess what? It's AI. The smoke didn't hinder them.
Because they had thermals, they just knew where you were. Yeah, they didn't actually see in the world. They just knew where you were. They were cheating.
Yes. See, and that's what I'm getting at. And that's why I'm very skeptical about like AI. And it doesn't really I'm not really I don't really enjoy shit like that.
Well, it's to be fair, let me see if I can sum it up. It's like, I do understand you're skeptical going into it, right? To summarize what you're saying, you're skeptical looking at it, given the track history. But I will also say, it's not that you don't enjoy it, it's just that you don't really give anything a chance to find games that actually implement AI well. Because there are plenty of games. There are well, okay, if we're talking about FPSs specifically, which honestly we should be, then yeah, you're right. But I do feel like there are a lot of times where people like there are lots of games that have decent AI and do very well, right? And it's like, I respect those AI, because to me, it's like, if it's done right, a fight will feel earned. A death will feel justified. And it's like, if you tune it right, then it's good, right? Like, whenever I get killed, I'm not like I might be pissed, but I know it was my own fucking fault at the end of the day, right? Well, like, I'm not gonna blame some fucking like rock coming out of nowhere and hitting me in the fucking face.
But that's also, like I said, it's also it's got to depend on how you are as a shooter person, right? And a player. Like I said, like you have always liked those co-op AI type of stuff, right?
Was the gear. They didn't balance anything, and I didn't expect anything from Battlestate.
It's Tarkov though. They don't give a fuck. I
didn't expect anything from them. They don't care. They threw in whatever.
It's meant to punch you in the dick and piss you off, and they don't care. But no, so like I said, like that type of stuff has always been your bread and butter. You like that. I remember, like, every single time we played like some type of FPS that has that type of mode, you're always like, yeah, let's do it. My brain don't like that. And it's like, I've tried them and everything else. It's just, I
Like, let me ask you this,
I
right?
don't get any type of gratitude. I don't feel the accomplishment of doing that. Like, do I get an accomplishment of like beating a fucking campaign on Legendary by spending hours on one fucking mission in Halo like we were? Yes, that's accomplishment because I beat it on the hardest difficulty campaign and everything else. And then I'm done.
You're sitting there and you're getting your reflexes up. You're trying to outshoot the AI.
Exactly, but
now,
I'm
take
done.
Take away the levels, right? And you just go ahead and put in, like I said, like random maps, for example, with randomized AI, kind of like what what is that? 6 Days in Fallujah, right? That's what they're doing, dude. They're trying to fucking simulate.
That's story mode, though. It's still a sense of a campaign. I've played it. Yes. It is still driven on like a campaign.
Look, it's a mission. It's a scenario-driven thing.
Right.
But
it's a scenario-driven thing.
Yeah, it's a scenario-driven shooter. And if you're looking at it, if you're looking at any FPS, especially from a military perspective, the only thing they can be is like mission-oriented shooters. If you want to talk about narrative, because every operation is its own self-contained episode, if you want to look at it like that. And the only actual overarching story that there is between, like sessions in D&D is, the fucking link that you're putting between them. But at the end of the day, you are just going through different maps, killing the same AIs, trying to figure out different scenarios, doing the same shit over and over and over again. It's just, what story are you telling in between them? But, if you just remove that, it's add like randomization and shit.
I don't have it.
Even without it, it's the same shit. You're just doing it yourself, right? You're giving yourself a reason to play it, right? You're playing it to shoot people and outplay the AI, right?
I told you, like at the end of the day, it's just not my game style. For some reason, when I go into a co-op versus AI, I lose interest. It does not hook me. It might have when I was younger, but now it's like, do I really want to, like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It could just be me. I could be the only one out there that's like that. I want some type of gratification, and I feel like me just doing this shit over and over and over and over and over and over
and it gets to a point where you're just shooting paint, like, it's not fun. It's like, but you want to be challenged, right? Like, here's the thing. It's like what makes a player, what makes getting killed by a player you don't see and you have no idea if or not, and you have like that you can't see, and you have no idea if he's hacking or not and all that. What makes that better than getting shot by like a Gears of War AI, for example? Because I do remember Gears of War had some damn good AI back in the day that would actually fucking take cover and flank and fucking throw grenades and operate as a fucking team just like players should, but they very rarely actually do, right? Like, what makes getting killed by a player in that scenario better than getting killed by the AI, right?
Because I'm not the one, like, I don't know if they're hacking or not, right? Like that, like, I won't know hacking unless, I just fucking, like, what a lot of people do in Tarkov nowadays, where it's just like, oh, that was a hacker because I can't get killed.
That's what I'm saying. Like, look, I wasn't trying to say it's because they're, no, I'm saying you don't know if they are or not. That's my point. Right. But I'm saying, like, what if you're getting killed because, you got outplayed by a person,
like the gratification that I fucked on a person.
Like, if the AI is good enough,
I don't, because I have no gratification, or I don't get dopamine by killing a coded. When it comes down to, like I said, it comes down to, like, if I joined up on a regular multiplayer, right? Say like just a regular multiplayer Call of Duty or Battlefield, right? And the other team was just full AI. It does not appeal to me.
Yeah, because the bots suck. Because no FPS really implements good AI. They just run around. They're not good, or they're aimbots. Yes.
I can legitimately say that in that type of repetitive, just over and over thing, even if the AI were good, I would not get any gratification out of it. I don't give a fuck about killing.
Let's talk about Halo Legendary, because that is honestly the thing that I don't understand, because like it did the best job. All right, let's talk about Halo Legendary. But here, if you want the story, though, why play it on Legendary? Like, that's the thing. If you're in it for the story, why does the difficulty matter?
Because at the end of the day, it's that still thing of like, I was able to go through a story campaign at the highest level. That is a whole different thing compared to going into a game where it's just, there's no actual mission point except to beat the other team, right? And the other team
Sorry,
was
I
just
didn't mean to cough.
was it the other team was just AI. And I'm telling you, it could be the hardest AI ever did. There's no gratification because when I play a game like that, I want to fuck on real people.
Well, I understand that, but it's like Ready or Not, man. It's like, I don't know, like so like you don't like Ready or Not at all?
I don't. I think it was cool.
I don't know.
It's just it does not appeal to me.
It's the simulation, man. It's the unknown.
I don't care.
The
problem is that like if I want to play a game,
it's the reality
if
FPS.
If I want to play a game that tactical, there's only one thing I'll do.
The Twitch shooting, man. The reaction times. That's what it all boils down to.
I'm gonna go play Arma.
Yeah, it's the social aspect. You know, if you're a social gamer, then yeah, you're gonna go play fucking Squad. You're gonna go play fucking Arma. If you're a guy that just wants to fucking play a goddamn shooter that gives you that tactical feel and all that shit, then I mean AI is good.
Well,
right?
yeah,
like,
I'm not. See, that's the thing is like I'm not shitting on people. I'm not shitting on people that do it.
AI oriented, man. Like you get what I mean? Like
but it's not.
Games are
They're not.
They are. No, every single player game, every single
fucking game. Now you're saying every single player. No, I was about to say is like
every single player game that comes out is like that. I didn't mean to say every single fucking game is like that, but I'm saying most. Single player games are meant to. Yes. No. It's the same shit. That's what I'm saying.
It's not the same shit though. Like I said, like it
they
comes down to
AI differently, but I'm saying it's the same feel. Getting shot by an AI is getting shot by an AI, right? Shooting AI should be shooting AI, right? Based on what you're saying, that's why I was trying to ask you.
No.
Why does it matter?
Because there is a storyline behind it. I can play fucking Elder Scrolls or shit like that all day because there's a story.
So if the AI sucks and the story's good, you'll still have fun playing an FPS?
100%. I could give a fuck less. Dude, I could literally play Halo if I wanted to and still get the same effect that we play. Well, maybe a little less effect. But I could have played Halo on the lowest level and fucked on shit and still had just as much fun as playing on Legendary. Because I like the story.
I don't know. Yeah, I like gameplay. That's a big focus on me. I do enjoy a good story. I really do. But like a story alone can't carry a game because I'll read at that point. Like there's
and that's why I'm a big MMO person at heart, right? I would play a MMO with a great storyline and shitty combat any day. Because I am a story-driven person. If I'm playing, and mind you, this is single player, right? This is single player. If it comes down to single player and the story is good, you hooked me in. If I play a game that has like the greatest fucking combat experience and fucking FPS, but the campaign is fucking boring, sorry, you lost my fucking attention. Next, don't give a fuck.
I mean, I don't know, especially considering the fact they're trying to phase campaigns out of FPSs altogether. I mean,
well, no, Battlefield's literally bringing back campaign.
Yeah, bringing back. See, that's my point, though. I just said they were trying, right? But like, here's the thing: it's a side thing. It's always been like Call of Duty. All right, I have always been the odd man out when it comes to FPS gamers. All right, I've been that, whatever, the minority at that point. I don't think.
Right? No. I don't think you
campaigns,
can. Right? I don't think you can say that because at the end of the day, when it came down to the era that we were playing Call of Duty and everything else, you could not ask somebody, hey, you could not ask somebody about like Call of Duty 2's campaign or whatever, and then be like, oh, I don't know, I never played it. It's like, no everybody fucking played.
Everybody played the originals, but they stopped doing them. That's
why they stopped playing them? Because the storyline got shit.
Yeah, because nobody fucking writes like. Brother, no, it's because they didn't give a shit about them.
Right, they didn't give a fuck about them. The player base did. There's a reason why they're coming back with story and campaigns and stuff, right? Because the people care. Like I said, once again, I played Call of Duty. Yeah, I didn't give a fuck about the gameplay.
I played fucking game though. Yeah, you're playing Call of Duty because you're checking out the story. Because Call of Duty is the same fucking game every year.
I played Call of Duty itself. I knew what I was getting into for multiplayer. It was I'm going to go level up all my guns, get shit, prestige, rinse and repeat. But I'm gonna fuck on people, and they're gonna know I'm fucking on them, right?
Yeah.
And
like
then
you were playing Call of Duty for the multiplayer mostly, but you ran through the campaign. It was always a 4 to 6 hour, if you were lucky, story-driven
that's the
fucking
thing.
thing
Is
to
like
go
when I
and
got the
warm up,
game,
and
I
then
went
you went and
straight.
started fucking prestiging, you know?
I played the campaign first on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, same.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's like
High Club,
because
dude, that was one of the fucking hardest ass
yes, dude.
achievements
Oh my
to
god,
get,
the hardest fucking time in the world, right? But that's what I'm getting at is that I enjoy a good campaign, good storytelling. Because if you remember, they're like, the sad part is like there's like that fucking like people forget that like some of these games, like even Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, great fucking game, but there was still problems that game had. There were still bugs and everything else. But that's what I'm getting at is that like that campaign.
I mean, it was revolutionary though. That's what made it good.
That campaign was fucking amazing, right?
And then the gameplay was on point. It was fun as fuck.
But then that's what I'm getting at is that like the campaign was great. I didn't give a fuck about, oh well, this mechanic. No, the story drove it for me, and I was like, fuck yeah.
The campaign was solid, and the gameplay was fucking amazing. That's why you played multiplayer all the time.
Ready or not, or Ground Branch, right? Ground Branch.
Yeah, the gameplay's there. I mean, I have fun with what's there.
That's the thing is like the gameplay,
but
like
there's nothing there though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bare bones as fuck.
Yes.
It's arguably a skeleton, dude. Like
that's what bothers me, right? Is that there's really nothing, but it wants you to continue to play the same shit over and over again. When there's nothing there.
I mean, they don't. I don't think I'd say they want you to. Like,
I think it's because of what they have.
Right?
Well, no, that's what they want their players to do.
They're not charging you more money. They're not asking you for more money or anything.
Yeah, they already got my money.
It doesn't affect them if you're playing it or not.
Well, no, duh. But that's what I'm getting at is that. But that's also you going back and you literally saying the same shit I've done and said in the beginning in the first place. They only give a fuck because guess what? Or they don't care at all. They already got their money.
I never disagreed with that at all.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm getting at is that if a shooter has a great story, I don't give a fuck about the mechanics. I don't give a fuck about. I want that story. If I'm playing a single player or a co-op game, against AI and nobody else, Gears of War, right?
Like here's the thing, you're not gonna do it by yourself.
I used to play multiplayer Gears of War, and it was janky as fuck to the point where, let's be real, they didn't even have local servers. They had a host server, and you could tell who became the host because they were harder to fucking kill because it was peer-to-peer hosting.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. You could always,
they didn't give a fuck really
exactly.
They didn't really give a fuck that much about their PvP, and it was a janky fuck.
It wasn't even that they didn't give a fuck. It was I like that's just how it was back then.
But
like,
the
I'm not
thing
gonna
is,
lie. That's just how it was.
But the campaign was fucking fantastic, and I played the shit out of it. That's what I'm getting at. Is that I think I might enjoy the new zombies more than the old ones because it's not because there's more of a story line to it and campaign to it more in the new zombie, the last two zombies compared to the back then World War zombie where it's just like horde mode like that. Oh, there you go.
So you said there's more of a campaign to it.
Yes.
Like you just said there's more campaign to it. Well, see, I brought that point up before. I think that was the point that I was trying to make is when they added campaign into zombies was whenever I stopped like, nah, dude, because
you didn't
weird,
like
right?
zombies in the first place though, didn't you?
No, I loved her. Like I said, I played Knock Dare Toten all the fucking time. When World at War was out, my buddy and I were sitting there split screening freaking zombies all the time, just having a good time, playing it together and shit. Because, you know, like I said, what I hated, like, yeah, okay, let me add a story to it. Yeah, there's a fucking story there now. Yeah, there's like, you know, I played it one time, like one of the newer ones, and it was like a team of 4 of us, and we were fucking going in there, and we were all gonna do this, and we're gonna coordinate, we're gonna get all the, you know, do the story shit. And it was like what it's become is like we invested like 2-3 hours, you know, got to like level fucking whatever, like 67, I don't know, got up there, got, you know, to the last boss thing, came out, we're like, and it's like, and we're dead. And it was like, okay, well, it's like, okay, I did it once. It's like, okay, what would have happened if I killed a guy? All right, sweet. Let me look that up. Sweet. Why do I want to ever fucking play this again? That's like, it's a big time investment. I already know what's going to happen. Like, what the fuck is the point?
You know, but here's the thing, though. What the fuck is the point of doing the same thing over again without a story campaign of just killing
'cause at least then
zombies
you're
up to like
it's
level
the same reason
60.
you're playing Same reason you're playing Pac-Man at that point. You know, you're just trying to see how high your score can go. You're trying to see if you can beat
don't give
yourself.
a fuck. Like, and that's the thing is like you like
You're
that.
trying to
I don't care.
outplay yourself. Like, I don't really care for it that damn much, but that's the reason. Like, for example, like playing it by yourself. Like, you would never play Ready or Not, because Ready or Not is a great game with good AI. Like, that is an amazing fucking game with amazing AI. It's a fun co-op experience. It's just a fun shooter. But it doesn't have any kind of actual story that I know of. It's got different maps. It's got like you're a cop, you know, you got like loose little story ties and beats as to why you're there and all this shit, scenario setups, right? And then you just go in there and it's about clearing the rooms with your buddy, you know, going in there and shooting stuff. Like, you would never do that alone with the AI. But why, like, you don't enjoy, like, if you and I were to go in there and we were to, like, be coordinating and working as a team just like we're like anything else, like, you wouldn't enjoy that?
Bro, it's just for some reason those games dude, I have them. That's the thing, right? I have all these games. And for some reason, I guess it's one of the reasons why I don't like Siege. I don't give a fuck.
I loved Siege when it was new, man. Like, I thought Siege started off amazing, right? I did.
I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so when I left Counter-Strike, I went to Siege, right? And I played it for a while.
Yeah.
Like, and don't get me wrong, it's a good game.
Yeah.
Never mind. I lied. I like Siege. I don't like Terrorist Hunt. I don't give a fuck about it. And I guess that's another reason why I like Ready or Not and stuff like that. I could give a fuck less about simulating as SWAT or anything like that. If I'm gonna simulate shit, I'm gonna go to Arma 3 and I'm gonna simulate military. Milsim. I don't give a fuck about breaking into like tier 1 operators and stuff. Don't care.
See, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like, to me, it's like, okay, Arma. Like, let's talk about two different scenarios, two different games, right? Like, you're literally like, if I want to play like Arma, if you want to simulate military, all right, it's a lot of doing nothing. It's a lot of downtime. It's a lot of fucking waiting in a truck, driving from A to B, sitting on point, waiting, looking for the enemy. Where they at? Are they there? Are they in that tree? Are they behind that tree? I don't know.
Sure.
And it's like, but that's what, there is no actual, let's be real, there's way less like FPS gameplay moment to moment in a game that big and like that, an actual milsim game that large than there is in a fucking Ready or Not, or
the thing
what
is,
Ground
though,
Branch
is that
wants to be, wishes it could be, right? Something like that.
The difference is the people you're with in Arma. It's just like the military. The people
like I said,
you surround yourself.
It's the social aspect.
Exactly.
You're there talking to people. You're not. It doesn't matter if you're playing the game or not at that point. You're just hanging out.
No, because you're still playing. It's just like the fucking army. How many times do you just shoot the shit out of fucking smoke pit or shoot the shit while you're on shift and everything else? See?
And see, that's what I'm saying. It's like I feel like, you know, it's like, if there isn't a social aspect, would you play a game?
What, Arma?
Like any game, like at all. Like, if there isn't a social aspect, is it a game that appeals to you in the first place at all?
Where it's just single player that I can turn off stream, Discord, everything, and just play?
Yeah.
It's not an FPS. There is no
shooter.
Well,
I mean, that's fair. Well, it can't be, because there's no way to make that long without getting repetitive, right?
Yeah, there's no shooter, but there are games, yes. There are games that I will turn everything offline or invisible, and I'm playing that game.
Yep.
But you also gotta, yeah, because that's the thing, is like, right, so there's a multiple times though too, right, is that like when I usually play video games, it's to socialize, like with you or with other people and everything else, right? Compared to, like, if I'm not going to socialize playing a video game, I will be playing like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, you'll be playing something that's, you know, like I said,
dude, I play Farming Simulator. Fucking dude.
Did you just say you play Farming Simulator?
Hell yeah, dude. Like, like I said, there are shits. Dude, okay, here you go. You ready for the games that I'll play by myself?
I'm not judging. I'm not gonna lie. I saw this farm stick, all right, when I was looking for my, the fucking Thrustmasters I got. I was looking, I saw the farm stick for Farm Sim, and I'm just like, oh,
dude,
like, I'm not judging. I'm just
Simulator.
laughing. I'm laughing because it's exactly like, but you see, like, Truck Simulator, it's like, I'm used to that. You know what I mean? But of course, like, I get Farming Simulator. You know, it's like, why do I play Harvest Moon? You know, it's like, I get it. You know, I understand the fun. I do. It's just, it makes me laugh.
You ready for some games that I play? I like that I've played by myself with everything turned off. All right, so I've got fucking Where are you? So yeah, so you've got Assassin's Creed, Banished. What else? Fucking uh, car games. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Dude, yeah, I played the shit out of that. I never even saw
Fallout.
the Dragon's Plague. Fallout's good. Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Don't really have a good. Which one? Okay, what Final Fantasy you playing?
Dude, I haven't played Final Fantasy in a while, but the last one I did was
Yeah,
I bought
what's
like
the last Final Fantasy you played? Yeah,
13.
13, huh? That's one with lightning, right?
Yes, I love Lightning.
See?
She's my favorite character.
Yeah, I think we talked about that. That is
Yep.
one of your favorites. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it. 13 was definitely
dude,
better than
Hogwarts
X2
Legacy.
or 13 too. Hogwarts Legacy was a good game, man.
Like I said, like MMOs and stuff, or not MMOs, but like RPGs, like Metal Gear Solid, stuff like that, right? So that's what I'm getting at, is that like, but I also do other stuff when I'm not playing video games in general, anyways. Like I said, like I code, I create other shit. Like there's other shit.
Well, no, we weren't. That wasn't what we were talking about in the first place. Like, it's not a matter of how much time do you have to play and all that. It was just a curiosity.
No. I'm not talking about like amount
general,
of time that I play. I'm just saying is that like if
like
I'm
some people only play to be social, and that's what I was curious about, right? Because I do, like. I enjoy being social, but it's like I enjoy being social, like you said, with you and my friends and other people that I'm playing with, stuff like that. It's like I don't necessarily want to fucking go in there and get to know 100 different people just to get into an FPS. You know what I'm saying?
Just
like,
I don't
shoot
have
some
to
stuff
get.
just to kill things.
But I don't,
like,
right? It's like I'm not getting to know them. Like when I play squad or like
I don't
armory
have to.
force
I
and
don't
stuff.
want to have to be dependent on like getting pissed off because there's some guy, and I feel like we all know this. Anytime you're sitting there, hey, I need freaking supplies at Point Charlie here. Okay, well, where
Yeah, but
the
that's
hell
also
is,
that type of that's exactly
where
just
the hell
like
is this guy at? Like, I
all
just
I'm
want to
saying
go
though is that
in and I just want to shoot some people, right? But I don't want to freaking deal with the Fortnite flare, and I don't want to try to freaking look at whatever the hell amalgamation of Call of Duty's put in front of me at the time.
I was
Either,
gonna say is
right?
like you got.
Like, so what
but
else
that's
is
the thing
there?
there's Call of Duty, there's Battlefield, there's Ground Branch,
Yeah.
there's Arena
But
Breakout.
I'm saying those are still fucking player dependent, player driven shooters, right?
How?
Which, okay, you take all the players out of Battlefield, what the hell is it? If you go into a Battlefield match by yourself, what the hell is it?
Okay, so that's what they're talking about. It's not the fact that you don't want to go in and have to cooperate with other people in your group.
Just saying,
You are
it's
literally
like
saying is you don't want any other people.
If you want to play an FPS game, but you don't want to have to fucking socialize, or you want a freaking FPS game that always gives you that tactical feeling moment to moment, then that's what those kinds of games are designed for, right? For that kind of feeling. For somebody that wants to jump in to a match for 20 minutes, like Call of Duty, but doesn't have to freaking worry about sitting in a corner and waiting, or that kind of a gameplay experience. They want to, go in and breach a room, go in and throw some nades, try to tactically clear a freaking thing, try to whatever.
Right, but that's also a very niche area, right?
But it exists.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm also not saying
it's
that.
The same reason it's like somebody looking at the Battlefield kind of genre. Like if Battlefield wasn't as popular, right? If it wasn't such a good thing, people,
I'm
people
not
be saying the same about that, right?
That's what I'm saying. Is like I'm not getting that people don't like the game or anything like that. No, go for it. I don't like that. It's just and that's the sad part, right? And it sucks because I see people having fun. I see people being able to play that game for hours on end, right? I see you being able to play shit like that hours on end. I jump into that game even with you when we're just shooting the shit and stuff, and it's just like it's just also the thing though too, right? Is that like with the amount of time that I wanted to put in and everything else, I have a really back, because let's be real, we used to do it a lot better back in the day, like
well, it was a lot
with a whole bunch
easier
of friends and stuff like that, because like at the end of the day, even if someone didn't like playing the game, we all still played the fucking game.
Well, we also had a lot more freedom to do that when we were all in the same spot doing the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
And nowadays it's like I can end up jumping in a game, and it's hard, right? And I try, but it's like if a game does not suck me in within an hour, I get really fucking bored.
Well, that's understandable, man. I mean, an hour anymore, yeah, and that's the thing. I don't know. I try to give them a shot, but
no, and you do it a lot better than I do. Like right now, like I said, like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky has drug your ass in. You are fucking
dude,
sunk.
I love No Man's Sky. I have always loved No Man's Sky, though.
Honestly, the only reason why I'm playing it is because you're liking it.
You don't care for it at all.
I really don't. Like, it did not suck me into it. And it's sad because it's just like in what way? And that's the problem, right? I don't know why. It's just,
yeah, because I was gonna say, like, you enjoy, like, because I know you, like me, you know, you're a Star Trek guy, you're a space guy, you know, we come from the same, like, we're looking for what you know, like, we got these similar ties
because it comes down to this, right?
And it's like they capture that spirit better than any game I've ever played, right?
And it does.
Like, the exploration, the just going out there and forging your own story and finding the stuff and writing it, you know, like, I don't know.
No, and it's really good, really good. They did a great job. That game is amazing. I wish I fucking enjoyed it more. I think it's the fact that I want Star Citizen to be that.
I mean, I absolutely freaking do too, but you know, and that's what I was talking about too. And hell, FPS, you know what? Star Citizen has an FPS element to it, so I'm gonna go ahead and say we're still in bounds with this conversation. Let's jump over to Star Citizen real quick.
But no,
like that game though. The thing is though, with that game is like it was never supposed to be, you know, about that apparently. Like that was supposed to be there. They want to add exploration, sure, but like I think you know you were talking.
No. That's
like it was supposed to be like Eve, right? It's supposed to be like Eve with first-person shooter elements and stuff is what they always looked at. Now whether or not that's actually like what it ends up being, or you know whatever is
I don't know. Like I said, like I don't know what it is about No Man's Sky, but it's like it comes down to like the same with Enshrouded, right? I don't know what's going on, but it's like there are certain games that just they do not end up like fucking catching my attention to me wanting to grind it out. And with like No Man's Sky, I don't know what it is, but it's like I was having fun for a couple hours and everything else, and then all of a sudden I'm just like,
I mean, arguably, you never really left the planet a whole lot either. Like, you didn't even jump systems, man. Like, if getting on the planet is dull, that's when you hop in your ship and just fly somewhere else.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that there's... I think it might be the fact that there's too much shit for me to do to just travel. Because I think that's, like, one of the things, right? Because, like, it's also survivability. Which, don't get me wrong, they did it amazing. They did all that, but it's like, in order for me to get to this planet, I need to collect all this stuff, turn it into this, and then put it into this. Have enough.
Yeah, and at first it's tedious,
ship
but
it out,
once you figure out where it is, you just build yourself a stack. I mean, you don't really.
But what I'm getting at though is the fact that it's like
problem. You know, you're still stuck on your home world. You got to get out there.
See, but that's the thing though, is that like if it killed me, right? It made me have to fucking do all this shit and all this shit to the point where it got too fucking tedious just to get the fuck off the planet and go places. And then when you go and you finally land into a place and all of a sudden that fucking planet is just continuously trying to fucking kill you, it's just like, bro, come on. It's kind of like...
I get what you're saying, but it's like, to be fair, the one thing I was complaining about is how trivial the actual combat was, though, right? Because let's be real, as I'm doing it, like, I do have to... Like, I'm not going to lie, like, how long is it going to keep my attention, right? And that is the real question, because it's fun for now and all this. I'm finding all this cool stuff. But it's like at a certain point, right? It's like, okay, I'm seeing the same ships. The stations are all the same. I got pretty much all the upgrades I need. I'm just looking for this, like, super rare, like, 1% ship.
Prime example. You know it's like Sea of Thieves, but it's like Sea of Thieves.
But talking about, like, the tedium, right? Like, going back to the point, though, like, the tedium... To get out there and fly, for example, like, holy shit, do you want to know how many teeth I had to fucking pull to get out into my ship in Star Citizen? You know, it's like, what makes that, like, that is more immersive, all right? I think that was what's talking about, because to me, to summarize it, I love Star Citizen because it's super fucking immersive, it's beautiful, it looks good, the aesthetic is great, everything just looks really amazing, the world is good. No Man's Sky is simpler. It's not as realistic by any means, but everything else is inherently better, right? Like, it is.
Well, don't get me wrong. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, fuck, dude. Like, I think that's another thing, right? Is the fact that, like, those type of games, it's kind of like Star Citizen, right? And I know this is going to be the fact about the game is when, say, if full, like in 2 years, generous, right? But say it comes full release in 2 years, like a straight up full release, right? Has everything that I wanted in it and everything else. I feel like it's the same way where it's like I might be enjoying the game until like say like 3-4, say like a week or a month in, and I'm done with it, just because like you said, it's the tedious, right? It's a living world. And the problem is it's just like Eve, right? Eve was fun, enjoyable, but if Eve is not your life, you're fucked.
I mean, it's hard to do anything if you're, it's a long-term game. It's like, and that's the kind of thing that I have a problem with anyway. Like a lot of phone games are like that. Like if you're not playing it, over the course of 3 years, you're not going to build up enough shit.
And that's what I'm saying is like, and that's what, and games like that, I have to really like be careful of picking which ones I want to do, because like I said, like we just said, No Man's Sky, right? That game is meant to be you sinking your life into that game in a sense, right? Because you're doing all this shit and everything else. It's a growing, living
honestly,
planet.
It's a pick up and play experience. Like, let me put it like this: I will say, No Man's Sky is definitely way more casual. Like, it's everything you want. It's a pick up and play. It's just, you gotta, if the tedium getting you going is what's killing you. Like I was trying to help you out and all that, but we can talk about that another time. I feel like you should enjoy it. Like you said, I don't know why you don't, but because it's like enshrouded, right? Too, like the base building and all that stuff too. Like that's there and everything on top of it, right? Like it's even got elements of that too.
I might just not like that shit. Honestly,
I don't
like
know,
maybe
man.
my attention span is like I just want to jump in the game, go shooty and be done.
Oh god, now we're coming full circle. All right, so since we brought back the whole, you just want to jump into a game, shooty and be done. No, I'm just kidding, because you were talking about players versus AI. But
it's kind of like fucking like,
yeah.
okay,
What
so
are we
like,
talking about? Because that's what I was saying earlier.
Because it's like it's kind of like Destiny, right? Like I will play the fuck out of Destiny because it's story driven.
There's a good example of a game.
Right?
There's a good example of a game that has, repetition. Because let's be real, it does have the same kind of repetition that we're talking about. And it does have the AI. It's got the same problems. It's got the same stuff, right? But you love that one, right? And it's just because also at the end of the day, you just love it. You just enjoy it. Exactly.
It's also the story. It hooked me in since Destiny 1, right? Like the storytelling is what got me. I guess that's fair, because
I never did care for it all that much. I thought it was okay, but to be honest, hey, throwing it out there, Destiny's story was never like. It wasn't as revolutionary as Halo, for example. Like I fucking liked, like I love Halo's campaign, but like Destiny was very like, like to me, it didn't hit me the same way, right?
Right, and that's the thing is like, and to me, Destiny's story fucking hit me hard, and then shit happened, people died, and everything else, which hit even harder. Like I said, like it is. I think that's what it is, right? It's like I want to have a story. I want to be feeling like I'm immersed in the environment. There's
like Borderlands, for example, right?
Never played it.
It's a game that you should check it out. We should play some Borderlands sometime. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that down just for our records, but we'll get back to topic. But you should check Borderlands out, because it's got a story. It should have everything you like.
That's what I'm getting at, right? Is that like I've never tried it, never played it, and it has a storyline. I would play it. It's just like I said. If I want to play...
It's also got the RPG elements, too, because I forgot that Destiny does have that RPG aspect, which does separate it from other FPS games. And because Borderlands, I'm pretty sure...
Because also, dude, I'm a fucking... You know me, I'm a loot goblin. Like,
Dead Island,
if I have to grind...
I remember doing it.
If I have to grind a play mode or, like, PvP, I would say is like... Because also Destiny has everything, right? Like, if I want to just go in and shoot shit on PvP, guess what I can do? I can just jump in... I don't have to do storylines, raids, or dungeons. I can literally just jump in and just go shooty with PvP.
Yeah, but here's the thing with the PvP, man. Did it ever get like?
It's amazing. I fucking love it.
Because I heard, like, I didn't mind it. I did it when it was fresh, right? I didn't put a lot of time, but I'm just saying my time with it was okay. But I heard it got bad, real bad, and they just kind of gave up on it, right?
That was like the beginning of Destiny 2. Like they're doing a lot better now. Like they're don't get me wrong. If you are just a PvP player. When it comes to Destiny, which there are, yes, you're going to hear them bitch and complain the whole time, right? because that's all they care about in the whole aspect. They don't care about the fucking campaign or
nothing
anything.
else that they're playing the game
exactly.
for,
So it's like, but that's the thing is like it was never meant to be about PvP.
But no, the only reason I brought it up is because you said it's there. But I'm saying like it's there, but like
no, it's
it's
good.
It's kind of like just slapping it on there. Like
no.
Like
for
me,
like, for me playing the PvP, it's fucking challenging, right? Because people are out there fucking good. It is a challenge. To me, PvP is good. Also, like I said, there's a Gambit playstyle, which a lot of people don't like because that is PvPvE, where you're playing, you're in two different like zones, right? You can't see each other, and you're killing you're killing the PvE, right? You're killing the enemies and everything else, and waves and stuff. You're trying to kill enough stuff to submit into like one little bar, or what is it, to bring out like the big baddie, right? The big final boss of your realm. And then during all of that, during times you'll see a warp gate open up, and you can run through the warp gate and it'll warp you to the other player's zone, and you can disrupt them. And if you kill one, it resets a certain amount of the final boss's health. So like if you wipe out the whole team, you could potentially bring that boss's health all the way back to full, and then you get pulled back into your realm after a certain amount of time, or if you die.
So they pretty much put in the fucking invader mechanic, or tried to put in an invader mechanic from like Dark Souls or something, where you can go in there and fuck somebody's raid up and then leave.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, that's a little dirty. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's good. I like Gambit. I enjoy it. Like I said, like there's a lot of shit, but that's the thing, right? Is the fact that there's a lot of other shit that keeps me into it. If I had to pick, and it's sad to say, if I had to pick an FPS, or let's say 3 FPSs that I would play, I would be playing, Battlefield. I love it. Love me my Battlefield. Now I'm talking about just a FPS that I can literally like be like tomorrow after work, be like, hey, let's go play a shooter for a couple hours and just
like
shoot
a game
shit.
that you don't have to think about what you want to play, just something to jump in.
Yeah,
something like, hey, I've got a short amount of time, I just want to jump in. Yeah, that's it. Like those are my fallbacks too. Like it's like, oh shit, I got somewhere I gotta be, but I got the urge, I got the itch, I gotta get in and put rounds down range. Yeah, those are.
Now if I want to spend hours in a game where like, yes, like it's a shooter and everything else, and teamwork is one of the things and stuff, dude, honestly, right now probably Ammoreli Forger, because that shit is so much fun. Squad, I've tried Squad a lot. I've tried Hell Let Loose. I don't really particularly enjoy you cannot go do your own thing compared to like, you saw me play Ammoreli Forger. Like you can be in a squad and everything else and play with a squad. You could do whatever you want. But like for some reason, Squad and Hell Let Loose, like it is heavily on the whole team working together and pushing in objectives and stuff. And it's just like,
I mean, it's the same as it's the same thing. I remember playing it. Like I played Squad way back, right?
Yeah.
And Hell Let Loose, same. And yeah, I do understand what you're saying. It's like back in the day, you could always jump into a fucking, or earlier, I should say, at least when I was playing it, I felt like you could jump into a game when the hype was there. There were more people that were there just joking and smoking and having a good fucking time and talking and actually cooperating. But yeah, lately you jump in and it's crickets. And while it can work, it was only working because the top tier in that game was still coordinating. All the squad leaders were at least, doing their thing and making shit happen. But like, if there's 0 people doing anything productive up to the commander, then yeah, it's going to be a one-sided fight. If the other team is doing
that's not the thing. Is like, I guess it's just like, that's the thing though too, is like I don't play.
But that is the problem with that. That's part of the problem I was talking to you about. That's kind of what I meant by player-driven FPS games, and the issue that I'm having with them nowadays, because I remember them fondly. But if the players aren't, pushing or creating that environment,
yeah,
the game
and that's why
sucked.
I don't really play that much, right? Like usually when I played Arma, it was in a milsim community, right? Where it was custom made fucking like operations and stuff like that. Compared to, like I said, like if we talk about it, when it comes down to an FPS, like fuck, dude, Tarkov pissed me off. Like that shit, I do not like. It is hard for me to get back into Tarkov. I really want to, but it's hard, and I know it is for you too, because it's just like, dude, they did what I wanted them to do, but
look, man, it's a game I enjoyed better when I was young. Like when I was younger. Yeah, when I was younger. No, but when it was
2018,
I enjoyed it when it was newer.
Yes,
I enjoyed it when it was newer.
I think I will like.
It got old. It just got not fun. Part of me changed. Part of it changed.
I'm excited to see what they do on launch, which is supposed like it is soon. Pretty soon, there's going to be a lot because they're adding a lot of stuff on launch, and it is actually happening pretty soon. So like I think I'm done until launch, and then I want to see how good it is. But honestly, like if I'm playing if I'm going to play an FPS. Like if I'm gonna play FPS, it's probably gonna be once again like, dude, Battlefield is I've got the Battlefield itch, dude. I do. I've got a Battlefield fucking itch hard.
Do. Yeah.
That or Call of Duty, like, and oh my bad, and Destiny, right? I will like if I have to pick an FPS to play.
I mean, I'd play Destiny. That's the thing. I'll play Destiny. I mean, I'll play Destiny, but that's a game that I would be, I'm playing with you kind of deal. Like we're gonna get through that one. We're gonna play it. If it hooks me and stuff, like I'm gonna give it a shake because like I said, getting through it and everything was, there's a lot of stuff to go through. So we'll see. But I enjoyed burning through it, so it's gonna be a fun trip either way you look at it. But yeah, by the time we get through it, we'll go from there because it could change. But it's never been a game that I looked to play, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I always played it when it came out, right, and got through the campaign and story.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like
the gameplay was there. Like I said, the gameplay was fun, right? Like that. That's why I liked it. That was a scenario for me. It's like you play it for the story. I played it despite the story. Like I didn't care for the story as much, but yeah, man, it was a fun ass game.
And like I said, like if it came like I said, if it comes down to shooters like Battlefield. Or Destiny, Battlefield, fucking Call of Duty. Those are what's got me right now.
Yeah, I do Battlefield. I don't really have any desire to play Call of Duty either, man. Like I said, I'm more of a...
That's what's funny is like I did not until...
I'd play Ready or Not. I mean, I would play Ready or Not.
Like, I don't know.
I'd play stuff like that.
I didn't have a drive until I played Black Ops. And honestly, I would say is the only reason why I'm probably not playing Call of Duty because I have nobody to play Call of Duty with.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue, right? That's the same problem that I got. It's like, man, there's so many games, and that's why I was kind of talking to you, because it's like, man, like, it's surprising you don't like I said, I've been through, like, Ready or Not and everything with the AI and stuff, and it's cool and all that, but it's like, it's not the same as, like, running through it with you.
Yeah, and I get it. It's like, and that's the thing, right, is that, like, and I'm just not, like, if I play, like, a shooter, I want to, like, it's that mindset, right? Like let's be real, I have not touched Counter-Strike since I got out of the professional area, right?
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, well, that's true. You have a good reason, and Counter-Strike is a game I would play again, right? I think I've tried to bring it up a couple times because I always, that was a game I could pick up and play. Like, yeah, there's a skill gap and everything. Yeah, sometimes I get whooped, but like, hey, man, it's just fun.
And that's the thing is like I can't play Counter-Strike, and it bleeds into other FPSs, as you can see, right? But like when it comes to Counter-Strike, I cannot play that game without being competitive.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of how seriously you take it, and it's like, unfortunately, it was your job at a point, so you can't not take it that seriously.
I cannot take that game not serious.
Yep.
And it bleeds over into other FPSs, and that's what I'm saying is like when it comes down to Call of Duty and stuff like that, it's like what gets me when it comes down to like FPSs and stuff like this, it's fucking on other people. That is the competitive drive in me, where why would I play this when I can play this and fuck on people? And that's where it draws, like, that's where the line is like, if I'm playing in my mindset, an FPS is me being able to shit on or get shit on.
See, I think that's what I meant by I guess I'm retired then, because like I used to, the urge to slay was there, the urge to prestige. I did that a lot. Like the kills mattered. I chased the kills whenever I was there, unlocking my camos and doing all that when in the golden age Call of Duty and stuff, and like Battlefield and everything. Like whenever things were going well, in my opinion, right? But it's like I just, yeah, like I don't care. Like even back then though, it was never for me about like having the highest KD or winning the most matches. I only wanted to be positive. Like if I got more kills than I died, great. Like I played objectives when it was there, but at the end of the day, if the team lost, oh well, shit happens. You're gonna win some, you're gonna lose some. How did I do? Oh, okay, I win even. Yeah, I didn't do great, but fuck, I'm not going negative.
So, and that's
right?
the thing, right?
And
like
it would always balance out, right? So it's like it was never that competitive for me anyway. Ever.
So that's the thing is like when it comes to Call of Duty and Battlefield, that's how I am now, right? Like you saw me playing Battlefield, like it was fun fucking on people. Did I do great? No, it was enjoyable. When I did fuck on people, but it's also like that drive of me, like you saw me fucking just doming people with a sniper rifle. That gratification of me just fucking their day up.
Oh yeah, the
right?
dopamine, and that's what I'm saying. It's the dopamine of getting the kill, and that's what I mean. Like whenever you're shutting your brain off, it's like an FPS. At the end of the day, yeah, story's good, but it isn't about that. It's about the rush of shooting something.
See, that's the thing.
Player
like,
in the fucking head, right?
Yeah,
like you're shooting something.
It's something. Me, it's shooting a person.
Something that gives you a challenge.
Or shooting somebody that I know on the other side of that screen that's controlling that player, they are pissed, and then I get pissed or get shot and stuff, right? It's just that. It's like I enjoy being able to play against other people compared to like I said, like when it comes down to Counter-Strike though, there's a reason why that game stays.
Urge to ruin somebody else's day,
Fuck
right?
Yes.
Is that what it is?
And like when it comes down to when it comes down to Counter-Strike, I just like there's a reason why that game just doesn't even get installed on my computer anymore, because I take that shit because it all happened when we started. So when me, you, and Gravity started playing Counter-Strike, and when you guys got off, I would start playing competitive playlists.
Yeah, you always, and I even tried to tell you, I didn't understand. It's like, it's like you always want to play ranked, and I'm like, dude, I don't really want to play ranked.
Exactly. So I like that, and that's what I'm saying, right? Is that
fucking
you guys didn't like that, so I was like, all right, cool. I will play non-ranked with you guys and everything else, and then when you guys are done, I'm gonna go play ranked. And like I said, like it got to the point where I cannot play. I'm an asshole. You do not want to play Counter-Strike anymore with me, because I become a total dick.
I'm gonna be the noob, dude.
Dude, I will.
I don't like it when you get like this and you yell at everybody.
Like I will because I will yell at people. I scream at people. And I get really fucking irritated because, that's just me in my competitive area. And that's why I don't do it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the real thing. It's like, here's the thing. Like, I think it's a fair point to make, and I'm glad you brought it up about your time as an esports manager, because, that does matter, all right? I am, what do they call it, an amateur at best, right? Like, I dabbled in it when I was fucking young, like, out of high school. It didn't go that far. You actually did it. You actually, took it to that level. But me just trying to do it was starting to kill the love of it in me, and I had never even got close to the level that you did. So it's only natural, I think, to say that, is it fair to say that part of you just cannot enjoy the FPSs for like, anymore the way that they were designed, because like you said, in some way you're just in that mindset of anytime you look at any FPS, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it, then you're not having fun. So in a way, you're not able to enjoy an FPS anymore because of it, right?
Yeah, and that's another reason why I play MMOs.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed that. I mean, I feel like that's because that was the thing I did notice, like, because you were always the one I remember that wanted to like play the FPSs, right? You were always looking at the new ones. You were always pushing them, and then, like I said, we've changed. Things have happened. A lot of stuff changes.
That's the thing too, is that like. But that's also, and that's another reason why, is like, because like you'll be like, hey, let's go let's play this FPS, right? And it's like, let's say Ready or Not Ground Branch, and it's like, bro, like it does. I'll play it for a couple hours, but you're not gonna get me on this all the time because I get no dopamine or gratification out of it. I will play it for a little while just to play the game because you want to play the game, because that's how we end up always doing stuff in general. But I do not get fucking synced in to that game. Now, honestly, the sad part is, like, if we went to Counter-Strike, you probably would not see me off that game for, I probably wouldn't even raid in a while.
Yeah, it would reignite something in you. Yeah. I don't think it would be a good idea to do it, which is why I haven't actually gotten back into it myself. Like I said, because it's a fun game, but if I want to play a shooter, I mean,
and that's
I'm
why
looking for a different kind of shooter too.
And
right?
that's why like I said, that's why I re-download Battlefield 4 and stuff. I will rather play Battlefield 4 than, honestly, besides Destiny, right? I would rather play Battlefield 4 or Call of Duty over any other FPS out there right now. Delta Force, there's something, I don't know what, I mean, I
love Delta Force. I think maybe you just had a bad match, and you also got to think too, you were playing it right on the back of Battlefield, so
well, it's also
you were
the fact that
tainted with the skew of the fact that it's Battlefield, and you were playing Battlefield 4, so it was the good, you know.
It's also the fact that you got to think about it like this though too, right? Is when it comes to I wouldn't even say it's nostalgia. When it comes to Battlefield and Call of Duty, I play hardcore.
Yeah.
There's no hardcore in Delta Force.
I enjoy hardcore mode too. Well, it doesn't, I don't know, man. It's like it has to be hardcore, because that's the thing. Like,
dude,
Battlefield never had hardcore.
Yes,
I think, what'd you say? Not always, right?
Battlefield 4 always did.
Yeah, I'm saying Battlefield 4 always did. But I'm saying
that's where I started playing Battlefield.
Since then, have all the other ones had hardcore?
Yes.
Oh, well. I'm just saying, I'm an old school fucking Battlefield guy, man. I played fucking Battlefield 2. I was playing 1942 for fuck's sake, and every one since, pretty much.
I played Battlefield 4. That was my first one. It
doesn't have to be hardcore, because it was never, it's cool to have it, but it still works whenever it's not. Right?
The thing is, like, when it comes down to like, don't get me wrong, like, it is fun, but if you have if I have an option of playing Delta Force Core or go into a Battlefield game and play hardcore, I'm playing Battlefield. Same with Call of Duty, right? If I have an option of playing core Call of Duty or hardcore, in my eyes, I've been playing hardcore Call of Duty since Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I think Battlefield, to me, Call of Duty, 100% hardcore. Always. Like, if there's an options, I play Call of Duty hardcore. I think
the fact
Battlefield, though, I feel like it loses something if you're playing hardcore, because that is that semi-team, semi-solo-esque gap builder. That's what makes it so great. You can jump in by yourself. You can jump in with a buddy.
Right.
It doesn't fucking matter, but you're having the same fun.
But I think this is what gets me. I can have the highest powered sniper rifle, in core of Battlefield and shoot somebody and they in the head and they don't die. I don't like that.
Yeah, well, it's probably just a fucking hitbox issue at that point, because most of them should, some of them don't, unless it's keyed that way. Some of them don't. Some of them are 2 taps to the head, which is weird. But who knows? But yeah, I get it.
Guess what? I can dome a motherfucker in hardcore with one shot.
Well, yeah, but hardcore, like I said, but here's the thing with hardcore, right? You are moving slower. You are primarily, when I'm playing COD 2, by the way, and I'm playing hardcore, it's team deathmatch. Like, I don't really, I'm in there for freaking kills. I'm in there for like I said, I judge by am I going positive, negative. I'm not worried about the score. I don't want to have to fucking worry about, like, sometimes, if I want to get kills and I just want to camp an objective or I want to work it, but hey, I'm a bad player for that, because why aren't you playing the objective, yada, yada, right? So I'm not trying to do objectives. Well, Battlefield is inherently capture the bases, right? See, it kind of loses something if you can't see those HUD markers, because you kind of need that information in the moment to keep the same game, right? Keep the same gameplay, right? Which is why, like I said, if they could do hardcore where the players disappeared, but like you still saw the objectives and things like that, it would be even better, right? But an all or nothing, I'd have to take all, right? Because nothing is not the same game for me anymore at that point.
I mean, you can still see the objectives.
How do you know what is going on, right? If you don't have a HUD, right?
You can. So, like, you do still see the objectives in hardcore Battlefield and everything else. You just don't have like a kill cam and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, so it does still show you bases and all the tactical information you would need?
Yeah. Because how else would you play the game?
Well, that's what I was trying to say, because you know what I mean? Like, that's...
Yeah, no.
You know.
But,
now that I think about it, I guess Call of Duty was the same way, huh?
Yeah.
My point was moved.
Yep.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Look at me.
But anyways, we're at an hour and 20 minutes. We went way over.
Yeah, no, I think we should call it.
Yeah.
Look at us, two in a row. We're going long. It's a hot topic, man. It's a big topic. FPS, we knew, but I think we pretty much summed everything up there to say about it myself.
I think we could continue to go back and forth,
I mean, we could talk about it all day. You know what I mean? Like it's
But I think that's good. I think that's a good one. I don't think this is good where to stop. What is it? It just honestly it comes down to people's backgrounds, what they want to do and how they like playing a game and everything else. And
a lot of it is what mood you're into at the time. Like it's really about what you're in the mood to play. You know?
It is. But on that note, anybody listening, if you're watching it on YouTube, like I say on all of them, please do a thumbs up. That allows us to be seen and reached farther than what we are currently. Make sure if you do enjoy this podcasts and stuff, subscribe. But just to let everybody know that remember that the first week of every month we are off. We don't post the podcast. The link to our Discord for the community and everything else will be in the description. But I appreciate you guys coming and listening or downloading the podcast itself. And if you have any comments, go ahead and just put them down below. We may or may not fucking read them. It's is what it is. All right.
Yeah. So thanks for coming in, everybody. Hopefully you found us entertaining, and we'll see you next time.